Okay, so now you have a couple of pages set up, and now I want to show you, go through the theme options. Now, something really important to understand is that Avada has so many options and customizations and things that you can do to it, it would be impossible for me to show you everything. And so if you do have a question, as I mentioned before, just reach out to me, send me an email, and let me know how I can help you. So I'd like to start with the theme options. I went to Appearance, clicked the theme options, and this is what we come to. And the first part that we have here is the layout. Now I'm going to quickly go through a lot of this. I'm not going to go through every single option, but I want to just show you what some of this stuff means, and it'll give you a good idea and give you a good start. Okay, so layout, you have a choice of either boxed or wide. Now what does that mean? I'm going to go to my site, Simple Content Creation, and show you really quick. This is an example of wide, meaning that this first page right here is wide. It goes the entire expanse of the web page. Okay, it's the full length of it. Now, an example of boxed, we'll go to my blog, and so instead of being the full length of the page, it's actually going to have things on the side. So it's going to be a certain width. So here you can see like a background, and it's just a certain width. And you go back here to my theme options, and you can see the site width. I have it at 1170 pixels, and you can define that. So it really just kind of depends on the site that you would like. I've seen sites done both ways. I personally like wide for most of my pages. I think it looks great. But, it really depends on what you want to do. And so just go through these different options right here. You can play with it. Single sidebar layout, sidebar would basically, if I go back here to the blog, these are the sidebars right here. You can have a single sidebar, you can have dual sidebar, another sidebar on this side. All those options are in here, and you can really determine the width of it. So the menu, and this is the next video what we'll set up. We'll actually set up the menu itself. But as far as the overall height of the menu, so again, just as a reminder, this is the menu right here. These are the different pages that I have set up. So I have my home and blog. I have a couple others. Obviously my logo. So this is going to be, everything here is going to be right there. So the height of the menu, you can see that, change the padding if you want a shadow. And what I recommend doing, really, honest to goodness, the only way that I learned this was to change something. Came down here, save changes. Always make sure that anytime that you change any of the options here in theme options, that you do save changes before you go to a different page, or else you're going to be a little upset. You'll learn that lesson quickly. If you want, dividers, just go through all this and look what it has, because there's a ton of different options. Even for your mobile device, you have different options, and so that requires for you to actually select it, save it, and then look at it on your phone. And you're going to have to change it. Mega menu, it's a really big menu. And then the next one is responsive. Now responsive, you absolutely want to click that to the on position, okay? Responsive basically means that on any screen, it's going to look really good. And because everything is going mobile, or to something like your tablet, you want to make sure that it's responsive. In fact, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately that instead, because a lot of times I would design my site on the on the desktop, and then I would change it to a mobile device. But lately I've been thinking I need to actually design my site for a mobile device, and then maybe change it to a desktop. If that makes sense, because most people are looking on their phones nowadays. So make sure that you can go through here, change the number of pixels of where, of as far as it's responsive. This is going to require a lot of you, playing with the options. Make sure you always save it and looking at it on your mobile device. Okay. And then colors. One of the cool things you can do is there's a predefined theme skin, as it says here. A white one, which is basically, where everything is white for the most part, or actually the dark one. And so dark would be, let's just go here really quick, where the whole page has more of this dark feel to it. So depending on the feel that you want to have for your website, Predefined color schemes. The color schemes, let me go back here, would be, anytime that you don't really see it here, but anytime that you have links or anything like that, or buttons, this predefined theme, this is basically what it's going to be. So maybe I actually have a few here. So this is predefined as in it's blue. So like this I guess cover over right here is blue. A lot of the links are going to be blue. You're going to see that all throughout the theme. And so if you want to have a predefined color scheme or have a primary color, you can actually select one here. Do that there. Now the headers, right back here, of course this is the header, and so I have the logo over here and then all the links over here. And you can see you have all these different options right here that you can select. That looks similar to what I have. You can have the phone number. And so a lot of different options right there. You can choose where you actually have it, the location of it, where it's at, top, left, right. All right, and then of course a sticky header. I like to show people this. A sticky header is basically, if you watch as I scroll down, you see how it goes smaller and it follows you all the way down. I kind of like that, so you have easy access to the different links, and that's a pretty cool option right there. You can have a background image back here. The styling of it, as far as shadows, colors, things like that, it's all available there. Of course, upload your logo. This gives you all the instructions as far as your logo goes. If you want to display on a Retina display, which is becoming increasingly more important as 4K becomes more mainstream, just make the size of the logo twice as big. And of course, for your mobile devices. And then the favicon right here. Favicon is basically up here. See the little, this isn't a very good one, to be honest. But it's the little icon that you can see up there on your tab. And so it's 16 by 16, tells you how big it needs to be. I would definitely load up one of those instead of having the generic one that your hosting company will put there. Footer, of course, the footer is all the way down here. And you can see all I have for the footer is the copyright, simple content creation on this page. You can actually have some different widgets as far as like a calendar or different links. And all those options are in here. You can see how big it is. If you want the footer widgets, you can turn that on. I'll show you later where you actually access the widgets. It's under Appearance, and you go Widgets, and it'll show it for the footer. But then you can put all your description right here for that. Okay, and then of course the sidebars, the styling on that. Background, that would be like this color. What's going on right here for the background. The typography. Now, you can find pretty much any kind of font that you want right here. And the typography, so you can just choose it right here and then choose the size. And so this is for the body. Now, the body would be any of the regular text like this right here. Now, if you go to headers, of course, this is going to be any of your H1, H2 that you have on any of your other pages, how big it is, what kind of font it is, and all the options are right there. Of course, blog. We do want to have a blog. You can name your blog whatever you like. Go through the different styles of the blog. Right here, this is the front page of my blog on simple content creation, right there. And I think this is medium alternate. I believe that's what that is. Again, this is just something you have to go through, change the different looks of it. Portfolio, again, this is going to be for any artists or photographers to set up. Social media, let's click on that really quick. If you want social media links on any of your pages, this is where you go. You put in all your information, back to your Facebook page, for instance. And so anytime that you put a social media icon anywhere, it'll know exactly where to take it. Okay, and then just go through the rest of these. Search page, right there. The different format of it, and let's see, a lot of different options right here. Go through each one of those. Some of these ones down here are custom CSS and advanced. Unless you really know what you're doing, I would probably leave those alone. If you happen to want to put in a Google, like a tracking code, if you know what you're doing there, this would be where you go, to advanced code fields, and you can put it right there. And so you don't even have to go into the code into the page itself. You just put it right here and it'll show up. Okay. And then just finally import, export. If you want to just copy all your data and export it and send it somewhere to somebody, this is where you do it. Okay, so that's just a general overview of theme options. There's so many options that I do apologize. It probably felt like I was rambling a little bit, but you just really have to go through all the options, take a look at what they are. But if you're ever in question as how to change something, if you don't see it on the individual pages for the options, then you would want to go to theme options and see if it's in there, because generally it is. And unfortunately, you have to go back and forth sometimes between the two. But the more you get familiar with it, the easier it becomes.